Sixers and Raptors tonight in Toronto. Sixers are a 1.5-point favorite after this line opened in favor of the Raptors. Totals 220. Sixers are wrapping up a 3-game road trip. They come into tonight's game having won their last 3. Toronto also enters tonight's matchup having played well as of late. They've won 6 of their last 7 games. So, Alex, what are you targeting in this game tonight?
A couple things that work here. My numbers really like the over here quite a bit, and I think part of the reason we're getting some value here is you go back and look at the last matchup, just a couple, late in March, March 20th, 93-88. I mean, the game didn't even get to 200 points, but you go look at the schedule spot for both teams, really mucky. The shooting for both teams, I think the full game shooting for both teams was less than 35%, maybe one of them less than 30, both teams less than 30% from 3, so I think we're getting a little bit of an over adjustment from that perspective. The Sixers, when James Harden and Joel Embiid are playing, continue to score a ton of points, and Matisse Thybulle is out tonight. He's not vaccinated, so he can't play in Toronto. That means the Sixers will be missing one of their key defensive pieces, and they put someone on the floor who's going to be a little bit better offensively, much worse defensively, should open up opportunities for Toronto tonight. I think this will be a little quicker pace game, given that both of these teams are going to be trying to win. Toronto trying to lock in the 5th seed so they don't have to be 6 and play Milwaukee or Boston there. The Sixers trying to get up to 2. Tonight is a big night for the 2nd seed. That Boston-Milwaukee game probably decides the 2 seed, but if the Sixers can win, it's going to be really close. So I expect this to be a really up and down game, and a lot of teams, and both teams being very active.
And this could be a preview for the first round of the playoffs if Philly and Toronto both stay exactly where they are right now in the 4th and 5th spot. Chris, what do you expect out of these 2 teams tonight?
Yeah, this one's a tough call for me. If they care about this game, which I think they do too, right? This could absolutely be a first-round playoff matchup. Then I kind of lean to the under in this. I was watching the highlights of that last game, and that game started off with a really fast pace, high tempo, a lot of scoring, and then just really slowed down. And I think most of that was because those shots were being contended, by 2 pretty good defenses. And talk about a good defense, the Raptors. They're 3rd in defensive efficiency since the All-Star break. No one's talking about the Raptors in general, which kind of annoys me because this is a really solid basketball team lately. And if you watched them last time, it's just they showed an ability to really slow down the 76ers, especially in the second half. The Raptors can just lock down, and they can. I trust them more than the 76ers, so I kind of like the Raptors in this matchup. If these 2 teams didn't care as much, maybe I'll look at an over here. But I think the line's about right for me. And like I said, I'd probably lean towards the under here just because of what I saw in that game. In the other 2 games previously in the year, the Raptors weren't a full team. Siakam wasn't in one of those games. This is just a really tough one. If it feels like playoff basketball, then I have to lean to the under. But Alex has a system that I don't. So you got to trust your own process. But yeah, this is just a really tough game for me.
With Toronto being favored and having now flipped to Philadelphia being favored.
Well, the move is going across 0, so it's not really that big of a move. I mean, it was Toronto -1 earlier. Now it's the Sixers minus just a couple points, so not the biggest move in the world. And I think in general, the Sixers have a higher quality roster, but Toronto at home, they've been playing really good basketball. It's a close game, and again, any move across 0 isn't that big of a deal.
Are you, as a Sixers fan, at all worried that if this is the first-round matchup and Matisse Thybulle isn't able to play in Toronto for that entire series, that's going to be a problem?
Not particularly. If the series comes down to Matisse Thybulle, the Sixers have a lot of other issues to worry about. So it's as long as Joel Embiid can behave himself in Toronto, where historically maybe hasn't been the best spot for him, I think they'll be fine.
He likes to go out and have fun? That's his city?
I mean, just take some time and look at his performances in Toronto versus his performances elsewhere.
Okay. Well, do we target Joel Embiid unders tonight then? Is that what you're telling us?
It's not a bad idea.
Take a look at it. Okay. All right. Well, Alex is playing the over in this one, 220.